how I trained my employees to become a six-figure consultant within 2 to 3 months. This is what I want to show you here and with this video. So when I was the head of the consulting team, I had in the end 5 to 7 consultants, and I hired them, I trained them, and they became really great consultants. But this was not what we were started. So in the beginning, we had one great consultant for marketing and sales, and he became the CEO of this company, of this online marketing agency where we were part of with our consulting team. And fulfillment was really dependent on the individual consultant, because my friend who became the CEO was really great in marketing and sales. But the other two consultants, they had to learn from him, and my friend wasn't really good in providing the value or how he was doing this consulting product. So the experience and also the results our clients got from our product, which was really great what we did, but the client was really dependent on the consultant, which was chosen from for them from our side. So the fulfillment was really dependent on the individuals and the knowledge and the experience of the consultants. And it went even further. So everyone has done it a little bit differently. So the experience wasn't aligned, and it wasn't really a product that you sell. And if you had two clients and they talk to each other, they would see, oh, I got something totally different with the same product as you have. So it was really, not very nice to have this different experience. And this came also to was also true for the results we got for our clients. So dependent on the consultant, what our client had, the results were also very different. So not only was the product different, also the results were different. And it was not predictable for the clients and also not for us which results the client will have in the end. So the predictability was also on the time of the delivery of a consulting project. So some projects took 4 weeks, some took 6 weeks or 8 weeks or even 10 weeks. And it was really a mess to follow up everything and to know which project was at which status. And so it wasn't predictable in the results, it wasn't predictable in the time when we delivered the project, and we didn't knew and we haven't tracked the results our clients get with our project. So the real problem was that we haven't figured out how to productize our service, that we have a system how we want to deliver our product and how we want to provide the results. And this is really common. I realize this also with our clients, that the most companies fulfill quite good, but it's a quite variety in the fulfillment, especially with service-based businesses. And I don't really know your situation, but from our experience within the marketing agency, we had really great experience with some kind of clients, but not with others. And I ask myself always, why was this? And this really comes down to this fundamental thing, that you really have to systemize and productize your service. And how have I done this? So the solution to all of this was to learn all the details from my friend, who was really great in delivering, and also the results that he got for his clients, to see what was he doing there. And I needed around 8 to 9 months to really figure out everything, every detail, what he was doing. after this, I was able to package all of this knowledge into a product and a training that I could also provide to other consultants within the company and also when we hired new ones. So I created this training document where I laid out all the details, what the product should look like, what experience the clients should have, how we want to proceed from A to B, how the fulfillment works really in detail. So we had this internal training document, and I provided workshops for our clients, for our consultants, or for my consultants. So I trained them really one-on-one and also within a group. So what you may be familiar with also big industry players, that they provide courses and trainings and group coachings. So I did it internally for ourselves, but I will show you what really pushed the needle and what really made the difference in the end of this video. Because it's not only the training and also not the support what you have during this process, but I will come to this later. So we had this training document, we had the workshops and the one-on-one support. We did also some shadowing, so that I picked a project with a client and said to one consultant then, who was the project owner, I will shadow you with this project. So I will be with you with this project from start to finish, and I will have a look on all the things that you're doing to provide feedback, individual feedback to you. So this was really the key, or one key, to really see what's going on and how the consultants were working with my training, what I provided internally. So this was the one part. Then we had this systemizing and automating key operations. So I wrote all the SOPs, so the standard operation procedures. For example, how do we do the process after a sale? So what is really the thing? What experience do we want to provide to the client once he said, yeah, I want to purchase your consulting project? So I laid all the details down in the process. The sales and the consultant have to follow. There were also finance involved, and we had some assistant who managed the appointments with the clients and so on. So I wrote everything down, how we want to do this process from the transition from sales into the onboarding process. The onboarding process was a complete different SOP, what I wrote. So I wanted to have the same experience what my friend was doing for his clients, because it was really awesome what we did. I will make another video on this because it's, yeah, I haven't seen something like this before, and it was really one key element also for client satisfaction. So the onboarding process was really one key I focused on, that every consultant had the same onboarding process with his or her clients, so that the experience was really similar. And I wrote also SOPs for, or an SOP for the project start, to really to get the referral afterwards. So any step you can imagine between was written down in this document, so that you just have to look up what the process is, and yeah, if you got stuck in some things, you don't have to think about it, you just read the SOP again. So this was the second thing, systemizing and automating the key operations. So, but some parts you don't want to automate, or you cannot automate, and you cannot write them down because you have to be flexible in some kind. So there I created an fulfillment feedback checklist. So once our client were within our company, so we booked an appointment with our client where we delivered the consulting or the main consulting results. So the clients came to us in our office, had a wonderful day, we ordered food, we presented all of our project results for this project, and this event took around 4 to 8 hours, really dependent on the client. And to provide feedback for the consultant and to train them even further, I invented this fulfillment feedback checklist where I could track how was the consultant performing. So it was how he interacted with the client, how he approached the questions he got from our clients, how he handled objections within our strategy, how he laid out the process of how we want to proceed with the client. Also the specific things what we laid out in the project. So what was the knowledge level of the consultant? So do we have to improve there something, or is he good in some parts or bad in some other parts? So this fulfillment feedback checklist really provided all the check marks that the consultant had to pass in order to be standardized for our process and for our product. So this process takes time, and it took my time away because I really had to sit there with the client and also with the consultant to evaluate the consultant, especially the consultant, and to provide the feedback. But this was the key element, and to really improve the product, the experience, the results for our clients. Because then we really had a standard and we could measure the outcomes of one consultant to another one, because the product was really, it was really a product, not a service that you experience. And you need to have this kind of productizing, otherwise you cannot scale. Because if you cannot train another person on the thing what you are doing, then you cannot scale. You need to have the same standard that you are doing within your work for your client, and you have to provide this to another person, and you have to teach them how do you do it. And if you're not able to do that, I can help you with this. Just go to the link below, click on it and have a call, and we can see if I can help you with this. But you really need to have the standardized thing, the SOP for everything, that you really know that you deliver everything the same as result. Otherwise it's completely random and depends on the individual. So this was the fundamental key that took this consulting team, which was really based on the individual knowledge and experience, to a productized service, what we could sell on scale and deliver every time the same or equal results for the clients. And the last thing, to really measure the things, I invented dashboards with KPIs that we could track also the performance of the team and the individual consultant. So as I said, in the beginning we were just 3 consultants, and then we brought on new consultants, and so when we grew this team to 7 consultants in the end, I had to track 20 to 40 projects what we run simultaneously with all of the team. So there I had to know where we are. Could we sell more? Do we need more? Or do we have to delay projects because we are completely filled with our capacity? So I needed to report to my friend as the CEO, what is the status of the consulting team? And therefore I invented dashboards with KPIs so that we could track the project duration, the satisfactory score for the projects. We tracked how many referrals got a consultant for his projects. We tracked the revenue which was processed for each consultant and for the team. I tracked also the revenue per project of the consultant. So we had different packages, and we had some advanced packages which were really high in value and revenue for us. But you needed to be at a certain level as a consultant to really conduct this project. And it was easier to get a higher revenue with a high value project. So we tracked also how much value does one consultant is consulted with one project. And yeah, all the metrics were really live and within our CRM. So I built everything in HubSpot to track everything. It was really great because I didn't have to report everything to my CEO. He just went to the dashboard and he could look on the figures and he was aware of what was going on. And this allowed us as well to really see where we had to fine-tune also our operation and fulfillment system. It was really great to track everything live. So all of this, so you saw what I did. So I implemented the training. We did the SOP, the standard operation procedure, what I implemented. We had this shadowing where I trained the individual consultant to a standardized level. And we had this tracking, this live tracking to really see what's going on in the team. And with all of this, this system was able to get our top consultants to 6 figures per year. And one of my best consultants made a lot more than 6 figures per year. And he brought in more than 1 million per year in consulting revenue, what he processed as projects within our team. So it was a really amazing experience. And this is all the secrets behind how you productize a service and how I trained my employees to 6-figure consultants within 2 to 3 months without knowing anything about consulting. So when I trained new consultants, they came to us with knowledge about marketing, but nearly nothing else. So they haven't consulted any clients. And with this system, we were able to train them within 2 to 3 months that they were already consultants with their own projects. And yeah, of course, it needs a little bit more time to develop the skills to be able to consult on a 6-figure level. But this was the whole process, and it got them really fast to this level. So if you have any questions, just leave me a comment. I will reply. See you in the next video.